So I had an amazing dream this morning. It always is like the best dreaming time is the time when I always had to wake up. It's like when I had to wake up when I was a kid or an adult. It's like being able to sleep in past the early morning hours is like when I sleep the absolute deepest and have the craziest dreams. Yeah, that feeling when I'm like woken up early and I feel like I'm missing something, it was real. uh, right after that, like first wake up, like I woke up at 3 and I had a couple hours on my phone. And then I went back to bed. Oh, I slept so good that second time. I don't really remember what the dream was, but it was like really, it felt good. It was like healing. So my wrist has been being a problem. I always did. It did kind of hurt at the end when I was doing. I'm not rated for my wrist at all. Yeah, I got more problems than what I'm rated for, but whatever. But yeah, my wrist has been like hurting to the point I can't use it. So it's definitely not carpal tunnel. I think it's yeah, it's really true. Like you can use your body really, really hard when you're younger and you won't feel it till you're older. Yeah, it's when you're older, it's like there'll be a lag and then you'll be like, ouch, what the fuck is wrong? You use that shit too much. So but yeah, it's been like really bothering me. So anyway. Yeah, people are fucking idiots. I said one thing on Facebook and now I'm fucking can't say anything else. They're annoying. They like they will deliberately get what you're saying wrong on purpose so they can try to correct you. And it's like, who are you correcting? They call that in logical fallacies straw man argument. Is that your opponent sits here and you can't attack them there. So you're going to reshape who they are over here so you can pummel the thing you can reach. And it's like, okay, that's great, but I didn't say that. You could read it again. And, I took a screenshot the other day because somebody admitted they were wrong. I was like, what? You actually heard me and admitted you were wrong? I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's the first time I've ever seen that happen. And I even told him, and he's like, I know, probably right. And for the most part, it's just like, it's like it's dealing with a hostile animal. It's like, they're just going to scream and shout no at you. Even if you're right, they don't care because they want to be right. So I don't take positions I can't defend. I'm not out there just arguing to protect myself. I'm pretty open when I have problems or limitations, but I can tell when they don't know things. I can tell when they say things wrong. Like one of the most common ones is like Bloodstained Men guy, Brother K, is like, outside of America and Muslims, nobody circumcises. I'm like, that's not true. All the Christians circumcise. Christianity is actually a circumcision hoax. There's a few chapters in Paul when Paul is talking where he questions circumcision, but Jesus did not. And the Bible itself calls it an eternal covenant, right? Circumcision doesn't come from Deuteronomy. Circumcision comes from Genesis, right? And he says it's an eternal covenant, which doesn't leave a lot of room for changing it later. And so there's a lot of biblical passages in Christianity that support circumcision, including cutting off baby balls, which Christians also did. Yeah, Christians making eunuchs is happening today with the trans people. Absolutely. So I met a couple trans girls, people born as boys, who went through a literal surgical procedure and hormones to look like a woman. They were all alcoholics and drug addicts. They had it rough. So yeah, no, they're definitely these people are absolutely incapable of admitting they're wrong. And they're absolutely stubborn. Like this one person was defending Elon Musk, and I mentioned a few reasons into his love of Elon, and he immediately goes, "Are you anti-Semitic?" Right, and then I gave a reply to that, and then he changes, "Are you anti-Semitic?" to "You should get psychiatric help," right? And but I had screenshotted him being, "Are you anti-Semitic?" So I was able to post that, and he didn't say shit. He just got quiet. So yeah, TikTok, you can say, I don't have a social media I like. Facebook, you can say whatever you want, just not as much as you want. You're limited how much you can say in 24 hours, and you'll get a ban if you say more than you're allowed. So you can say whatever you want, just not too much, right? And then TikTok, you can't say whatever you want. TikTok, you get censored and stricken for saying something that they find offensive, but you can say it as much as you want. You can have a conversation infinitely long if you want, all day, every day, right? So it is very much like, and Facebook's like mostly boomers. Yeah, Facebook's mostly filled with boomers. I don't see many like young people at all there. So, which is probably why they're not there, is it's filled with boomers. Yeah, they're just stubborn fools. You know, they can't read. I read what they say carefully, you know, and after I respond to it, I read what they say again, right? And they don't read what I say carefully, and they argue with someone who's not real. Like when I say the whole globe circumcises, they always try to pin it and go like, well, you can't circumcise, it's not right. It's like, I didn't say I support it. I didn't say I support it. I'm saying that the whole world does it, and it's suspicious. And anytime I try to mention the secret government, it's like this. They just don't want to fucking hear it. So I've had one person, and I did screenshot her, agree, right? She said, you know, that, and she also agreed. She's like, yeah, most people won't want to hear this. They're going to choose not to hear it because it's about survival, right? I didn't realize how like unique I was seeing what I see and knowing what I know. Most people don't fucking want to hear the truth. Yeah, most people want to hear a lie. They live a lie and they want to hear lies. You tell them the truth, they get mean. They're gonna hear you said anything else, anything they can deal with. And if you ever try to corner them on the truth, they'll be like, "Oh well, I don't have to listen to that. That's just a theory. It's not." Yeah. So they're sad and pathetic. Yeah. Anyway, I have not moved my cot from there to there yet. It was snowing when I got up. It was crazy. I had been wearing earplugs, so I was like totally out. And so it's only because it's like super, super, super windy. Yeah, it's like usually I sleep with open ears, but it's just because the noise from the wind was like, I found it hard to relax, so I put on some earplugs. So, but yeah, I slept good. Yeah, I love being out here. I'm like far away from any car traffic, far away from anywhere people drive through. So it's nice. Yeah, you're technically only supposed to stay for 2 weeks, but the reason they say that is so that you don't try to make it a residential and squat. And it's also so you open up spots for other people. And so, yeah, if I'm moving all the time, and if I don't move in, they've known about me for years. They just ignore me. Yeah. Yeah, if I was like trying to stay in one spot and like forcing the issue with like tenant rights or squatting, they would definitely be more aggressive. But it's the fact that I move and I don't move in, and I don't think they care. And I'm taking spots when no one else is here. Everything else is empty. So it's not like I'm taking something people want. They don't want it. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. Like probably the biggest issue on the West Coast beyond, it stopped snowing now. It's funny. Like I woke up and it was snowing, and then it's not snowing. It was just snowing when I opened my door, and now it's over. So I didn't know it was snowing. I just woke up at the perfect moment. It's none on the ground. It's just like, yeah. That should be it. Technically, in the weather report, it's going to clear up in the next couple of days. So, and the wind will die down. Ugh. Yeah, the wind was like 20 miles an hour. I was like, this is just annoying. The car doesn't rock. This is a very high car. I had a Nissan Xterra, and that thing would blow around in the wind. Not this. This is on like, Nissan Xterra had like 3-leaf springs it was on. This one has 1-leaf spring, but it's just a lot sturdier. It just doesn't blow around. So, which is pretty nice. So, yeah. There's a technique if you have to where you can make a fire and then you can drive your car over the coals. I've used that before. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, keep you nice and toasty overnight. But yeah, I'm not cold at all up here. I've got that space blanket, which I love. The thing's a good idea. Yeah, no, I love my not going to, what do you call it? Not going to motels anymore and just getting showers. Because a motel has plugs, so I could always recharge my batteries, which was nice. But it was mainly to shower. And now I'm like, I could get 4 motels a month for $240, or I could get one gym pass and shower as many times as I want a month for $25. Now it's raining, and there's a spat of rain. So yeah, this should be it. This should be it of the storm, and then every day after this until well into next week, then it'll come back. So yeah, I'm glad this is it. I was so worried. I was like, man, I'm up this trail. I don't want to get stuck in the mud, and I won't. Like, if I wait till like Tuesday or Wednesday to leave, yeah, it'll be all dried up. So, should be nice. But yeah, people are frustrating. The more accurate and more intelligent I am, the more they think I'm dumb, but they can't respond to it. They just like, if I say some shit you've never thought of that's true, and you never thought of it, you're going to be like, you're stupid. Well, why? Can you tell me why? They can't tell you why, because they're stupid. They looked at what I said and their brain said, dummy. But that was a message for them. That was a message for them. It's not that I'm dumb. Fucking annoying. They are annoying. So it's like these crows, right? So I set up food for the crows, and they've known me. I've been doing this for years, right? And I've done it like 10 times this season. And every time I put out food, they act like it's the first time they've ever seen me do that. And they will take 3 fucking days to grab it, right? Maybe they like letting it spoil. Maybe they like making sure I don't want it. Like, I would put food on the ground that I might want later. It's a crow, right? He doesn't know we like eating it out of a container when it's clean. He thinks it's like perfectly good still, right? But I leave this food out, and they will like, they'll walk up around it and act like they're doing something else. They'll walk up near the food and act like they're like looking at a cool stick or something. And it's the funniest game. I'm like, you can have it, go get it, And they always do like fake trap, right? They like walk, and it's almost like there was a trap, so they jump and they fly away, right? And which is completely their perception, right? And yeah, all these people are reporting, oh, crows are intelligent. Crows can remember your face. Crows can tell each other that you're safe. Nonsense. I've fed them multiple times successfully, where after like 3 days or so, they'll get the food and then they're fine. But they never like remember I'm okay. Every single time I set down food again, they're like, oh, this is it, right? Which maybe it is. Maybe people like set down food first. I mean, if there wasn't a trap the first time, will it take 10 times? I'm not gaining food by setting down 10 meals, right? It really is like, they're just stupid. These crows can't remember me, and these crows can't tell each other it's fine. Every time I put down food, it's like the first time it's happened, right? And that's these people saying, "Oh, you're stupid," to something that I said that was true. So, you know. He thought he got me. Are you anti-Semitic? And then when I answered that, he goes, "You need psychiatric help." He changed what he said, so it looked like I went on a crazy rant. But I copy pasted the fucking screenshot, like. So that backfired. Now he looks like he's manipulative. So yeah, I hate people. Just what evolution did to them. It's just it made them horrible. Made them horrible. You can't trust the girls; they just want a baby. You can't trust the guys; they all hate you. I had a time in my life where I like masqueraded as a woman. I put a female avatar and a female name, and I was openly role playing a girl. And it was night and day. I think it's only guys on the internet I do. I think all the girls are like cordoned off for the internet lords to have. And I don't think real women have access to like normal men like me. Maybe in a dating service, but yeah, I dated this girl who looked a lot like Christina Hendricks, and she said both her parents were actresses. Or actors, sorry. And I was like, oh, it could be her daughter, but I never got a confirmation. It was one date, and then I literally, it was an okay date, but I literally had religious psychosis after that. I was like, yeah. She told me before we met that I could be her soulmate. I was like, cool. But a soulmate is about making a baby. And do you want to make a baby when the government circumcises babies and breeds girls? Yeah, most people are wrong in accepting the solution, circumcision. I definitely agree dealing with guys is frustrating. That guys all think they're better than you. That guys are going to try to get it in her womb and make her care for your kid or for his kid. And guys are going to try to dick dom. Yeah, the dick dom got to the point the dick was too huge. If every time you're going with the guy with the biggest dick, eventually it's going to be too massive to fit. Yeah. So. Yeah, it kind of makes sense like why circumcision happened, but the real reason is because the real government likes virgin girls for themselves. They don't want their favorites to get touched, so you have to wait for permission from the priest, right? Don't you? If you want to have sex with a girl, you have to let the priest tell you it's okay and then get a gold and diamond band, right? And so you have to ask permission from the government, and the government gives you permission to do that. You ever see Lord of the Rings? They thought the rings were gifts, but they were really treacherous devices. Yeah. So Mistborn is a good plot too. Not that people watch my vlogs. I think my vlogs are great. I really doubt that nobody wants to watch them. Now, YouTube has asked me to pay them on their website. YouTube has asked me to pay them on youtube.com for views and likes, right? They call it giving me to real people. We'll put your stuff in front of real people. It's the official partners, right? So when you first start making content, YouTube, the app, will tell you, come here with the official partners, and it goes to youtube.com, and that's where you pay, right? That's all Asmongold did. That's all these people do is they pay them, It's a myth that they pay you, right? I could make infinitely good content. I'll never get anywhere with it. But if I pay them, instantly guaranteed, right? And I've paid them before, like I made a PSA and I promoted it to tell everyone something. And they sent me an email for that video going, wow, that video did really good. People really like it. And I'm like, all I did was pay you. The only difference between that video and every other video, I mean, if you pay them and they boost up your likes and views, then certainly not paying them would be like, oh, sorry, we have a quota. You can't get more than 1% views, and you can't get more than a couple thousand, or you can't get more than 1% likes and a couple thousand views. Whereas when I pay them, oh, wow, 50% likes. Huh? Yeah, they're just all bots. I'm sure the AI struggles to argue with me in a way that's realistic, you know. I'm sure the AI finds that I'm just too fucking smart for it. That it can't take me point by point or really offer substantial counter arguments. It just has to like straw man and insult. Yeah, whenever I say they circumcise everywhere, the snow is back. Hopefully this is it. I don't want to see this shit sticking on the ground. It is a little bit. There's a tiny layer of snow on the ground. But the sun was out like 5 minutes earlier. Yeah. In the desert, you'll deal with mud, which can be really dangerous. And up here, you'll deal with like slick, like the snow, which is also dangerous. I just don't know what to do. Everybody who tried those zip tie shoes, right, said they break. That you can put those like zip tie treads on your tires, and your tires will absolutely just snap them immediately. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, that pretty much every review of that I read was like, these do not work. They sell them like they work, but they're cheap and they just break. So it's probably some like recycled plastic they nab, and they just sell some shitty thing that doesn't work, which is amazing to me. So either they do work completely and most people just think they don't work, or they really don't work and they keep trying to sell them anyway because, hey, a buck's a buck. So, yeah. I really detected, me and Sadhguru both saw this, that people were doing too much, that because of money scarcity, people have to get like horrible odd jobs, and people have to hustle doing awful shit. And that's kind of like both slavery and toxic, is that people are just making shitty stuff that shouldn't exist. You know, cheap, useless crap is coming out of them because they're like, I need $1. $1 is $1, man. I can't live like this. I'm gonna have to somehow acquire mega stuff, right? And yeah. So yeah, one of the luckiest things that ever happened in human history was me getting told that I had to start something new. I did it with my astrocartography, which uses sidereal cartography of the actual positions of everything over your birth zones. And when I was born, my sun and my moon were over Bali, which I find very interesting. So I should do some research one day on moving to Bali. Maybe like after all this legal stuff blows over, start saving money and try to get a good pad so I can just move to Bali full time. Maybe I'd love that. Definitely a tiny retirement island seems like something I would enjoy. Yeah, a beach, nothing important going on. Good times. So, they got a king, the king of Bali. Yeah, my sun and my moon were over Bali when I was born, which is very interesting that it was like, usually it doesn't happen, but there was an alignment right over that spot. And it was like, oh, interesting. So, On the West Coast, it's West Coast of America, it's illusion. Right? That'd be illusion, which was very true. It was very, when I'm in California, it's very like living dream type energy. So, yeah, I would love to be an expat in Bali. That would be pretty good. Get something dirt cheap. Get a house, pay it off, and then have some savings that are recurring. What do you call it? Dividends. Yeah, put some savings away so I get dividends, and then I can just live off dividends, and then stay down there. That'd be a nice plan. One day. Yeah, I like being judgment proof. I don't have any assets that if I get sued, anybody can have any, and I could file Chapter 7 bankruptcy to jettison debt, and they won't have anything they can take, nothing they can take. You know, it's like it'll be. I'll lose basically zero assets. So. It's just nice. It's like, do you want to be rich or do you want to be judgment proof? Rich people do get hit for money. Like, especially after the fact, like Russell Brand, he's got encounters he had in the 2000s. All of a sudden, now the girls are deciding they were raped and they're taking him to court. So they're going to get a payout. Yeah, it's like the girl who got Conor McGregor. He said he's innocent. They're like, well, if she was innocent, why didn't she just settle out of court? Because they can't make him pay that. Right, is that if you get a civil judgment, that's almost impossible to make them pay. It's very difficult to make them pay. You have to get criminal restitution. Then he has to pay. Right? But if you just get like a civil judgment, like, oh, so and so owes you money, the vast majority of judgment money goes uncollected because the people just like they say no and then they just don't. And then it's, oh, what are you going to do? See, the court will give you a judgment. They won't collect the money for you. Right? You have to figure out how to collect the money. And if it's in a trust or anything like that, then you're fucked. You can't freaking, can't touch it. Yeah, that'd be great to get a trust. Get that going. Maybe that'd be a nice project for this year is get a trust started and then start putting assets in the trust. But yeah, you could sue me and win. I wouldn't even know. Won't change my bank account, won't change what I own. Some people, yeah, you could end up getting something like if you get a judgment against them and they've got like, again, they would have to own it themselves. It wouldn't have to, if it's in a trust, you're fucked. You can't touch it. So it is like, but criminal restitution is different. If the person you're suing, no, if during the time of criminal prosecution by the state, if they're found guilty, then the judge can. He doesn't, like in the Kohberger case. In the Kohberger case, he did not assign criminal restitution. He assigned a civil payment for the families. He didn't assign criminal restitution. He just gave them a civil judgment of $5,000 each. You know, and in criminal restitution, it's like you have to pay that. Nothing can stop that from being taken from you, right? Criminal restitution is different than just a lawsuit. You can go to court, you can sue them, you can win. It doesn't mean anything unless they're actually put in handcuffs and convicted of a crime. And if they go to jail, then criminal restitution has to be repaid. Yeah, there's nothing, no status that can block that. But just like that's why they do default judgments and civil judgments, right? That's why they do default judgments, is because it's not so binding. It's not like something they can't get out of. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm what's called judgment proof. You can win a civil judgment against me, and I won't end up giving you anything. You're gonna find it's a lot of no, and I don't use credit for anything, right? So if it hurts my credit score to do a freaking bankruptcy, I don't give a damn. Yeah, getting up to an 800 credit score takes a really long time. It's like I'm pretty perfect with my usage, and I think it'd be a lot faster if I had assets like a house or whatever. But yeah. I love my driver's license is good until 2050. Yeah, my driver's license is good until like 2052. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, I hope they replace all their like DMV stuff and all their like address stuff with just AI. Right? It's like if AI knows where you are, then. But unfortunately, I don't like bot cop. I'd prefer to like the AI can tell them and they can choose to care, right? Because the computer is not perfect. But China does bot cop, where they're gonna hit you and punish you first, and then you have to appeal to a person, and then they may undo it. They may, right? Because you could be dealing with someone who's just a hater. They're like, yeah, but I can hurt somebody right now, and so I don't feel like undoing it. Right? That's when it sucks. That's when it sucks. Like bot cop. I'm not into bot cop. I am into like the AI can tell humans if it knows something, and then humans decide what to do, but no automatic machine punishment. This shit's annoying. Yeah, I hate that. They're so inconsistent. I always post this image from the Talmud. That's the Talmud is a Jewish book discussing like when to have S word with children, right? And no, for real, it's a horrible passage. And I'm like, I always use it about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And I'm like, you wonder why the presidents all bow at Israel, right? Is that you think it's because it's about God and being holy, but it's not. It's about circumcision and S word with children. Um, and that's what they really like people eating veal. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about you. Uh, so yeah, how coldly the winners of the world treat the losers. Yeah, it's super cold. It's super cold. Donald Trump collecting rent money so people can live. Donald Trump suing people and kicking them out who don't pay. He doesn't give a fuck about you. I don't care what your sad story is. You're going to get me the money or you're going to be on the street. That's Donald Trump. Right? Really greedy guy. And nature prefers that, right? Do you think God's out there knocking flies out of spider webs? Does God ever really knock a fly out of a spider web, or is it pretty much every fly that gets caught becomes a meal? Yeah, sometimes the web may not get a good stick, right? The fly was dusty and he just bounced off and flew away, maybe. But for the most part, it's like every fly that gets stuck becomes a meal. And same thing with like the cruelties of government to the poor. Is it's just like you're there for them. The government thinks of the people, us, as the ones who are going to do all the work for them. They don't think of us as like we're taking care of them so they can have nice lives. No. We have to do all the labor so the government can have what they want, which is like girls and palaces and stuff. They're not doing it for you. They already want it all. How are they going to have it all if you're having some too? How are they going to have it all if you can like take a break, So most people don't think of it that way. Most people think I'm a child of God. God did it. Yeah, haha. There's a reason that book comes out of a printer. They always get smarmy is like, well, the original passages were passed down by God. And I'm like, yeah, that's what the fucking book says, ding dong. It just comes down to their ego. Like, if their ego is upset, they're going to defend themselves on what they believe instead of questioning it. They're never going to question it because they're like, I looked in the book and the book says I'm right. It's incredibly frustrating. It does. It makes me a hermit. I was getting that card a lot in my early tarots. It was like, for me, it's like the hermit over and over. And yeah, that did end up happening. And it was because of like things I recognized about humanity. I was like, I can't support them. They're just too awful. Like that guy asking if I'm anti-Semitic, and then when I answer him, he edits his post to say you should get psychiatric help. Got him. Got him. Got him. All right. Got him. Yeah, I used to have this buddy who killed himself. He'd always say that. Got him. And always sarcastically, like he was never pranking anybody ever. He wasn't mean like that at all. He would never do a prank on anyone, right? But he did find that hilarious that anytime like some social mishap caused pain or discomfort, he'd be like, got him. He was a hero to me. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. He died from drinking. Yeah, he didn't I don't think he physically harmed himself to die. He just he was putting down a bottle of Jim Beam a night, and yeah, just destroyed his body. So I wouldn't drink that much. I'd drink a bottle of wine a night. So I think you can probably live to 80 drinking a bottle of wine a night, especially being Irish like I am. Guinness. Yeah. I mean, I would probably be drinking again now if it didn't produce an insane amount of trash I can't deal with. I don't like boxed wine, and I can't deal with a bunch of wine bottles in my car. I don't have that trash hookup. I don't feel like driving to recycling. I don't feel like driving around with it. Right? There is a method you can melt glass in a fire. If you make a wood fire big enough, you can melt glass, but you're still going to have a glass wafer at the bottom of the ash pile. What do you really do with that? Just leave a bunch of glass? I don't know. And I can't drink beer because that comes in a can. And cans are also just like that. You can't really deal with them. You can't really get rid of a can. You just can't. It's it's just problematic, and it costs a lot of money. Yeah, if I want to drink to drunkenness every day, that's at least another rent. That's like paying rent again, So yeah, I just decided to stay quit. I had a good 15 years of drinking every day, and now I'm just done with it. Just it costs too much, and I don't know what to do with the trash. Just as I was when I was drinking in my car. I wasn't drinking and driving. I'd drink out at a campsite, and cops knew this and they didn't care. They totally turned the other eye, and it never caused an accident, so it's it was kind of fair. But yeah, I would just drive around with a bunch of empty cans and a car filled. The amount of filth I have in my car is a lot less than it was when I was always high and drunk all the time. When I was high and drunk all the time, my car was just fucking filthy. But I think my art was better. I go back and look at my art when I was high and drunk, and I'm like, wow, that was really good. And now it's to me, it's kind of slow. So yeah. And my old stuff is really good. I do think that you were supposed to get high and drunk. That's the reward for having a society, and that if the alcohol and the drugs are poison, it's because you're being poisoned. It's not because it's that's the ultimate. Anyone who drinks, anyone who does drugs is going to get poisoned. No. Their stuff is poison. Yeah. But it doesn't mean it's ultimately always poison. I think you can definitely do it for fun and survive. You have that power. And yeah, if it's super addictive or ruins your brain, then that was the purpose. They wanted to hurt you. So yeah, that was definitely something that I appreciate about knowing that about people, is that people are monsters. They do hate you, right? It's if you're ever paranoid people don't like you, you're right, they hate you, right? They absolutely don't like you at all. That's who they really are, and the like, I love you, all peace and bliss. That's because they were put into a cult where they think the owner of the universe is forcing them to be that way. It's not because that's who they really are. They're only that way because it means they're not going to hell like silly people, like the fools, right? So, yeah. The animals all eat each other, and that's not a result of man sinning. That's just how nature is. And it's like trying to say that the animals fell because man fell isn't the right history. It's that man lied about God because the animals all eat each other. The Bible has this interesting chapter or point when it's like talks about carnal knowledge. And he's like, when you gain it, I don't remember the verse by verse, but it's when you gain carnal knowledge, don't you come back looking for me. You know what I mean? And it's because when you realize that there's not peace in nature, there's not bliss in nature. Nature isn't beautiful. Nature's horrible, right? And that these people invented God in hell to bamboozle everyone. And that's the reality. And I just meet a lot of stubborn idiots who aren't ready for that. They're living under the government coattails. They're never going to hear that, right? The Bloodstained Men is filled with Christians who think they don't circumcise and who think only Muslims and Jews circumcise. And I'm like, no. Call me stupid. Yeah, I hate it. Anytime people are getting licks in, Facebook's like, all right, now you can't talk anymore. Gotta wait 24 hours with open insults on your name. They always post the laugh emoji at what I say, even though what I said was true. It's funny to them because they don't get it. And then they always get it wrong. They're like, oh, so you're supporting circumcision? No. I said circumcision is worldwide because the real government likes girls. I'm not saying that's a good thing. But they can't get it. They can't acknowledge the truth. That's really what it is, that if they understood that somebody pretended to be God to cut the boys so they could have a party with virgins all the time, that would crash the story, right? And they want to stay Christian. And so they go like, no, Judaism is about aesthetics and health. No, it's not. It's about picking up virgin girls. And they just, that's that point. When I say that, that's when they go like this. They're just like, they just can't get it. Some people sometimes do, right? Some people sometimes do, but for the most part, most of them do not. Yeah, it's been my experience that it's just like a couple people will be like, agree. A couple people have agreed. Most of them argue. And I always know that they're wrong because they say I support circumcision. I'm like, no, I don't. I hate it. I want you to destroy the government. I'm not batting in favor of it. I'm just saying that if you say nobody but America and Muslims circumcise, it's just factually not true. You're not going to see the big picture if you say that. And they can't hear that because the big picture's scary. So they have to make me something I'm not to win. And that's just like, I just hate people. I do. I do. They've been evolved to look past it. They have. They've been evolved to look past it. If they acknowledged it directly, their fucking worlds would crumble. So. Yeah, it snowed briefly. It's not snowing anymore, though. It's all totally off the ground, and there's nothing in the air. So yeah, I can't wait for these storms to roll by. It's supposed to be sunny the next 4 days, which is going to be nice. So. Yeah, I moved my car so I had a better view of the mountain, and then the view went away. So I got to move my car back. Yeah, I've got a great spot. It's awesome. I use red lights at night so people can't see me. The old military trick. Yeah. White light can be seen from a distance. Red light's very hard to see. It blends in a lot easier than everything else. So. Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna get out of here. I think I will. It doesn't look too wet or puddly, and as long as I keep momentum and keep in a good spot, I don't think I'm gonna get stuck. Yeah. I've got these covered eyelets, and I was looking into a replacement tow hook. And so my idea was like, I could get like a winch and then get like some good rope, which I've got, and like pull my car. You know what I mean? Like if I actually end up getting stuck in the mud, I could get out and find like an anchor point and then winch myself out by hand, you know. But I wasn't able to find any eyelets that fit my car, unfortunately. So, yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. That would make me feel a lot better. Yeah, if I had good rope and a winch to pull my car, because there's just no anchor point. It's not like I can wrap it around the bumper. I don't have access to that. So it'd be like, yeah, I need to get, it has like these caps you pull off and it's got a screw hole and you can put like an eyelet in for the bumper so you can grab onto it. And I just don't have those eyelets. And it's like, wish I knew about that when I bought it and I'd asked him about it. I didn't really realize, you know. Yeah, we covered a lot of bases. I replaced all the mounts. There's no problems with the suspension. I have new brakes. Yeah, it still cost me way less. Like, we're coming up to my new registration, so it's like every month I had it. Let's say it's about like we're at 10 months right now, so that's $10,000 that I saved on rent. When yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Any of my old apartments choose to fucking try to get money out of me. I told them I'm judgment proof. They will. They're gonna find they could win a judgment and not gonna get anything, and I can discharge that shit in a bankruptcy. Judgments from old apartments, not criminal, not criminal. It's just a civil judgment. Yeah, I can discharge that shit in a bankruptcy. If I did a bankruptcy, I wouldn't notice anything. Like I don't apply for credit ever. So yeah, fuck them, fuck them. So I always pay my debts when I think like I owe them. Like I had tenants um from when when I rented out rooms in my house. I had tenants. I charged them less than I paid because I had the master bedroom, so I was cool like that. And when they moved out, I gave them every penny of their security deposit. I didn't withhold any of it. I even called them afterward. I was like, "Did I give it back to you?" And they're like, "Yeah, you did." I was like, "Oh, cool." Right. So yeah, I'm not a douchebag with people. I give money to the homeless and stuff. I give my stamped money to the homeless. I'm like, yeah, you need this, but you should also read this. Should also read this. So yeah, I don't believe for a second that Asmongold is famous and he made it. I think 100% he paid for it and he's just fooling the fools. Because when you're paying for it, you get bots, and so most people will absolutely never mention it's pay to win. They'll even clap for you, right? And so it really is like it's like AI on the internet is a social free speech issue that no prior person in history has encountered. It's definitely a huge issue, and it looks like we lost. It looks like it's just the fucking dead internet filled with deliberate idiots, you know, idiots by design. And I don't really think there's anything there. So yeah, stamping money is probably the best thing that I do. It's just how I get the main thoughts out there. Like, look at this. This is the situation, right? And it's meant to make people like It's the resistance, but the barest resistance I can do. Yeah, it's sad. Do you know the diet sodas flood your amygdala? Yeah. Why do you think that is? They know what they're doing. So yeah, it's like I have accused them before of the government poisoning us. Absolutely. Chemtrails and all that stuff. If the word of God is about circumcision so they can score virgins, there's nothing they wouldn't do. There's no crime or trick or attack that they wouldn't find totally fine. Right? So the thing is it's not Donald Trump. It's the people behind God, right? Donald Trump is like a risen slave. He's like second or third generation money, right? And the real government are like the heirs of the gold empires of old, right? That's the real government. And Donald Trump's not that. He's a copycat. He wants to be like them, but he's not that, so. Yeah, whenever I threaten to destroy the government, you should turn the politicians, and you should first off shock the politicians that you know what's really going on, because they think you're dumb, right? And you should turn the police, right? Turn the police and military, because most of them are circumcised. I guarantee there's not a guy on earth that wants to be the slave of pedophiles. So you should never like don't hurt the police and the politicians and stuff. Yeah, that's not the government. You should wait until you identify who runs the harems, right? Who actually is benefiting from circumcising boys, who actually gets the girls for their private pleasure. That's who is technically not really in charge, and that's the real monster, and that's who you should take out, right? You shouldn't hurt the frickin' cops. You should tell them, right? Give them the option to frickin' betray the man. So yeah. And unfortunately, the creator let that happen. Just like the creator was like, yeah, all the animals will eat each other. Run from that shark. Yeah. Oh, you want to have a girlfriend? Too bad. One person has all the girlfriends, and none of you are even going to know what being a man feels like because of the hormone blockers. So, fuck you, right? So that's the creator. The creator let all that shit happen. And the creator's like, did you see how big it is, though? Did you see all the stars? Whoa, right? It's just like, it sucks. Life sucks. It's just like, they mentioned with the Call of Duty guy who died recently, he hit a berm, that he didn't put his brakes on, right? Is that he slammed in that berm and there was no brakes. He may have just wanted to kill himself. It may have been a suicide, right? It's like, ooh, the rain suddenly starts when I said that word. So, I mean, he probably got tired of it too. Like, you can be like me and pick up your projects and work, but you'll never really have a nice life as us, not until you beat the government. The government took the nice life for themselves, right? And, oh yeah. What people usually miss with the rich and the poor, someone told me earlier, you lost me, is that they think the rich want money and land. They always miss that the rich want the nicest bodies and the best girlfriends. They miss that part, that it is the rich want to be the hottest and the rich want to have the hottest bitches. That's what the rich really want, right? They want to be the highest, right? They want to be the most loved. And so they conspire to make that possible. Oh, you have to look modest and humble. You have to get circumcised. Yeah. We're going to put the money at your debt and taxes, so daddy's always going to be gone. And they even put in the Bible, you should beat your kids. The Bible says if you don't beat your kids, you hate them, right? And so what are you doing if daddy attacks, you get circumcised and hit by your parents? It's confusing and horrible. You're going to grow up with a freaking twisted lip waiting to do it to your kids. It's a fucked up situation. The creator, I see the sun right now, the creator didn't do shit for us. The creator literally said, here's a bunch of slop, fuck you. It's nothing. These crows are morons. These crows come back to my pile of food every day and can't eat it because they're scared, but they come back because there's nothing else out here for them. They have to find a fucking corpse, right? They have to find a corpse to get a meal, right? And so it's bad. Life is just bad. The lie is that life is good. God loves you. You're going to heaven. That's the lie. That's just nonsense. The reality is that Charlie Kirk loved Jesus, and I have the videos still of Charlie Kirk's real death. Oh. Yeah, dude suffered. And that's how God really feels about you, right? You're making a bunch of noise and mess in His world. So, yeah. That's why I designed Holographic Money and the Eternal Pleasure Body AI Spaceship Core. I was like, that's a better future than trusting the Creator, which you can't. And that's a better future than letting the government tell you how it's going to be, which is going to be awful. Your kids are not happy they were born, okay? Your kids don't like their lives, okay? Your kids hate who they are. They hate who you are, and they hate their destiny, right? And so it's a big problem. The most annoying thing are people who think that, like, oh, I'm going to have kids. My kids are so important to me. I'm a winner. That they can't say it, but they think it, right? It's like, they're good enough. You're good enough. Love yourself. Those are both jokes. Can you believe that the people telling you you're good enough and love yourself are actually the enemy? That's like an extreme high level prank. Telling you to love yourself and that you're good enough after what they did to you and after how they laugh at you. Yes, it's extremely funny. It's a prank, right? You're getting pranked. When you, the modest, humble, broken ones, are told to love yourselves, it's like a god freaking making fun of you. But you don't get it. You don't get it. You think it's like, oh wow, I guess I am good enough. No, you're not. You just if you think you're good enough and love yourself, you're gonna reproduce. That's what you're gonna do, and then all the work will get done because that mechanism has been rigged. So yeah. Anyway, that's the vlog for today. It's a little bit. Yeah, I've seen a mix of rain and snow today. It snows a few minutes, big break. Now it rains now. It's raining right now. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, this area is going to be inaccessible when this weather gets worse because they're going to have to close up the whole mountain pass. To get to this area is going to take like some serious driving. It's going to take like a couple hours, whereas it usually only takes 40 minutes. So, yeah. Once that mountain pass is closed, which is not, the mountain pass should be open next week. So, yeah, I'd love to find a new, better area. I'm still always looking for a better area. Looking for something hidden, something private, something shaded, with internet that's close to a town. Yeah, that's what I'm always looking for. Private, quiet, shaded, close to a town. At least a Walmart and an Amazon delivery point. That's all I need. So yeah. Anyway, that's the story. Did I celebrate Christmas? I cried and had heart-torn feelings about Christmas that weren't genuine joy until I totally gave up liking it. Yeah. The root out of the suffering that they gave you is to hate them. Yeah, the root out of the suffering that they gave you is to hate them. Is to despise who they are. Despise the government and despise their slaves. Their slaves are the ones who can't read what I'm telling them. Their slaves are the ones that don't get it. So, thick. Yeah. Old people are freaking stubborn. Old people struggle with new information and they struggle with thinking limberly. Yeah. It's pretty embarrassing. So, as much as I'm happy about the AI, I notice it's like twisted. It is. The AI is twisted. How many patches do you need to get rid of extra limbs in AI generators? AI generators love extra limbs. You could easily write a program like count the limbs. Are there more than the number of bodies? Right? If there's 4 limbs in one person, delete 2 of them. Right? You could do that, but they don't. They're just like, yeah, let's just keep it twisted. This person's going to have fucking 17 fingers, right? You're going to make the AI generator, hey, do this. Yeah, I got you, but this person's going to look like a twisted morbid monster just to fucking scare you, right? They could fix it. They could make it right. They could make it good, but they don't want to. How hard is it to make a freaking patch that's like count the fingers? Now reduce them to 4, right? That'd be easy, but they don't want to do that. It's a persistent problem in all AI generators is like extra limbs. They just fucking can't get rid of that. But they don't want to because it could scare you, right? Got him. Gotcha. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Earth. I mean, there's worse places. Can you imagine being in the African savannah like, well, I have to sharpen my stick so the lion doesn't get me? You know, there's definitely worse places, but it's like not many, you know. In my world, it's the government are predators and most people are enslaved. You can't trust God or you'll get circumcised. And the real creator's like, looks great to me. The real creator's worried if we're going to notice how big it is. He doesn't care if you're having a bad time. That's just some spice. So, yeah. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's a bad time. So, I make my own time. I do. That's where I picked up the art. That's where I picked up the... I would do a lot better if I paid them. I would do way better if I paid them. And people are fake. Like I had someone yesterday try to tell me, oh no, I made it on YouTube legit. And I'm like, no, you didn't. I called them a liar and they haven't said shit back. Right? They'll lie. It's like putting on makeup, right? Okay, if you would put on makeup so you looked hotter than you are, would you put makeup on your account to look more popular than you are? People are just fake, incredibly fake. You'd be better if you didn't wear any makeup and you just raw dogged who you were, honestly. That would be good, right? But you're not. You're not that. You're just like, yeah, let's hide this mistake and act like I'm someone else. Got him. So, yeah, Trash Planet. I can't believe they did this. There was this bucket of stuff at Sprouts, which is like it's like an organic place. They had like the scoop yourself buckets and they take it by weight. And they had marked all their scoop it yourself stuff, buy one, get one free. And I'm just like, what the fuck does that mean? You mean half off? Buy one, get one free. So you're going to count the peanuts. I got 20 peanuts. I get 20 peanuts free. Is that what that means? Just say half off if it's by weight. Don't say buy one, get one free if you're selling it by weight. It's an indefinite quality. It's an indefinite quantity. And you're going, oh yeah, buy one, get one free. And I'm like, guys, do you have to be that way? Is that the best you can do? I went like this. I put my head between my hands and I squeezed and that's what came out. Okay. It's embarrassing. All the bots sucking Elon Musk's dick. The only reason people hear about Elon Musk over and over on social media is because he pays for it. That's it. That's the only reason. Guaranteed. There's a lot of other, like, what's his name? The leader of NVIDIA. The leader of NVIDIA does some crazy awesome stuff, but he doesn't put the massive amount of money behind his social media presence because he's not a serial breeder. Right? Elon Musk wants to make more babies, so he's always putting himself out there as the hero of man. And it's just not true if you look at it carefully. People burn to death in bulletproof cars. He went with electric vehicles to save the environment, and then went into kerosene rockets. So now we're going to be using even more fuel to fly around. He's just a nonsense person. He is. He's never ridden in one of his own rockets. Right? He has this rocket company that's launched hundreds of flights, and he's like, I'm good. I don't want to see space. No. I'm too busy breeding. I can't be bothered to get into space because who's going to make all the babies with all the girls I like, right? And that's how he thinks. And he thinks that it's like invisible. It's invisible to most of them because that's how they are. But it's visible to me. I'm like, oh, wow. That bulletproof. It's funny, too, because you don't need coolant in a transmission in an electric vehicle. There's a style where you do that where you don't need coolant or a transmission at all, right? But he has it because he's a dumbass. Elon Musk has coolant, has a radiator at the bottom, right? You can access the radiator on the Cybertruck from the bottom of the car, by the way. So, yeah. No, he's a fucking idiot. So instead of designing cars with the electric vehicle in a way that's smart, he copied the transmission, which is a huge problem. And he copied the freaking coolant system. So it's got a radiator. And I'm like, you don't need that. You don't need that, Dingledore. You're not doing it right. But he doesn't know that. He's like, bulletproof car, ho, 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 ho. You can burn to death in there because first responders can't get inside, ho, ho, ho. Right? So it is. America got significantly dumber, or this is what it really is. The bots took over. Yeah, the social media bots. Is that a part of free speech is the ability of social media companies to lie to you, to just make up numbers, share what they want to share, hide what they want to hide. I can't be the only one who hates Elon Musk, but I'm probably the only one I can see. And when I say things, probably no one can see that. I go to the anger bots who disrupt me, right? It sucks. And like the so-called like American hardcore core, they like don't see that or care. They're too beholden to money. It's like, well, those rich people who run Facebook are gonna donate to my campaign, so I can't say shit. It's twisted. It's the end. Like the fact that the politicians who write the laws are chosen by money donation. Who got the most donations? Well, that's who's going to write the laws. So what happened? All the rich people made the politicians do what they want. Y'all are stuck. Game over. It got corrupted. The judges themselves, too, also have to be appointed. Is a judicial appointee going to challenge the people who appointed them? So, yeah, it's done. I'm calling it a failure. I've given you my design for holographic money, and that's my response to the way you do everything. And for me, nah, you're fucked. You're fucked. You're a monster serving monsters, and I don't have anything to do with you. I just don't even like you. So, yeah, I didn't want to be the hermit. I didn't want to go through most of the things that I went through, but I did. And I'm not like grateful on the outside. I'm not like happy. I'm like fucking annoyed. I hate it. So I'm really glad I got circumcised. All those girls should have gone to the pedo lord in the lair. Yeah, you live a lie. You live a lie, the Heavenly Father and Jesus, as real as Spider-Man. You just live in a lie. So it's definitely challenging for me, just like on a historical comment. Like when I look at all of this, I don't know what to do beyond cause issues, right? Beyond tell people how it really is. And it definitely, it hurts my motivation when I have a lot of people not get it and challenge it. They're just not, they don't really get what I'm saying, right? It's like the real government are slavers still, right? The people who run the country are not the people you voted for, right? And a lot of people don't get that. They go like, no, those, I'm going to go vote again. I'll vote to change what's happening, right? They think that confidently, like it's like morally correct, but it's actually just like you're just putting your thoughts in a trash can and they're going to do whatever they feel like. So, you know, Kid Shadow banned me, and then he did it so he could circumcise his kid. And now he's like a day drinker who like openly is like fucking sweating when I come on because he knows. Yeah, they're pedos. It's the insanity of aging. It's the insanity of I want things, but I don't want to work, right? I want to have girlfriends and palaces and luxuries and all these things, but I'm not going to do anything physically for it. So that's where all the chaos comes from. And then somebody's the heir to a palace and somebody else is in permanent servitude, right? And they think that's cosmic, right? That like the creator himself has decided the winner and decided the loser, and they don't really see that it's just chaos. So it's sad. It is the worst conundrum to exist and to hate it. It's the worst to be and to not like it too. It definitely sucks. It definitely sucks. It's not so good. It's not so good. So yeah, you got to get those bot views for people to think you're legitimate. Got to get those bot views. I do not use AI for my art. That is a fact. I'll stand by that for all time. I do not use AI for my art at all. And any object or artifact you find on screen, you can find on the page exactly as it looks. That's a fact. So, and yes, YouTube has asked me for money, and I paid them sometimes, but for the most part, I didn't do it. They want money a week, and that's going to affect like, yeah, $20 a week could get you like an extra 1,000 views. So, $32,000 a week, you start getting up into the millions. That is Asmongold's story. He's a scammer. He said he worked at the IRS for 2 years. He could have done a hustle. He could have found like some secret like self-pay program or something. Could have found a scam that allowed him to retire. It's possible. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Asmongold is an AI, or wouldn't surprise me if Asmongold is like has a secret source of his money. That it's not legit, like he says. It's like he's not getting paid for being famous. He paid to look famous and they give him some cash back. That's the reality, you know. Yeah, since they will pay you for views, but they control what views you get. So you'll basically never get paid for making content. If you're a liar and you enjoy lying, right? Like I'm going to manipulate everyone because I want to be cool. Then, which has happened. People are liars. So, yeah, it's incredibly sad. It's incredibly sad. I make great points in my arguments against the government and against circumcision, and they can't read it because they just are too stupid. Some people have been able to read it, right? But most people are like, la la la, blah blah blah, na 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 na. And I hate on Facebook, you can't talk as much as you want. I love on Facebook, you can say whatever you want, but you can't talk as much as you want, which is really annoying. On TikTok, you can't say whatever you want, but you can say as much as you want, which is like, can we do both? Can you guys? And YouTube is just broken. The problem with YouTube is that YouTube does not work right. YouTube has not had the love and the upkeep it needs to be a modern platform. It just sucks. Only some sounds will save into your saved sounds. Notifications are weird. I get notifications for people having conversations, and then I don't get notifications for my comment getting 1,000 likes. My comment gets 1,000 likes. They don't tell me anything. And Blurp to Blurp and Blurp to Blurp are talking, and they said something to each other, and I get a notification for that. Look at this. It has nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with this. Why am I being told about it? It's fucking broken. That's why. Yeah, YouTube has been dog shit broken for a while. I think their quantum computer is fake. This big gold thing, they're probably getting some funding for it. Do you really have to build it out of gold? Can't think of anything else. Or is gold just have a high price so you can charge? It's got to be made out of pure gold, baby. James Webb just showing you some photoshopped images of some fake galaxies. Building it out of gold. I think it's suspicious. Silver is a much better conductor of electricity. Gold just happens to be uber overvalued. And so you're like, oh yeah, you have to build it all out of gold? Whoops, how'd that happen? Yeah, I don't trust them at all. I don't trust them at all. Scammers. They moved the YouTube legal headquarters. YouTube has no legal headquarters in the USA. The YouTube legal headquarters are in India. So, I don't remember anyone ever complaining about that. I don't remember. I found that out by doing my own research. I don't remember ever any news article telling me. You'd think that'd be news, like YouTube, the most popular video sharing, moves its legal headquarters from like Alphabet USA to India. They didn't say shit. It's just like, shh, don't fucking let them know. And they take payments for popularity and lie about your numbers. They lie about your numbers when you pay them, and they lie about your numbers when you don't pay them. They just don't care. Money. Give me money. So sad. So sad. I am at wit's end with this world and the way it is and the people. It's just like, I will just stay alone. I'll just stay alone. Fuck them. Don't want to deal with it. The only thing I could do is shock and bring down people that I know, right? Is that if you're trying to like yourself and like your world and move on and have a family and have a life, I am going to blow that up. You're gonna either hate me because you have to survive, or you're gonna agree, and then you'll never have the life you want, which, to be fair, you'll never have anyway. Is I'm not taking anything from you. You could have. I'm just grounding you in the real way it is. So yeah, it's annoying how dumb people are. They're that way by design. I wonder if I'm not an experiment to make smarter people. Because it really feels like I'm just like on a like holographic speed painting while they're like, I spent 50 hours to make a painting. And I'm like, oh, wow. 50 hours. Good for you. It's like I'm a different species. So, Yeah, if you wanted my offspring, you're not getting it. You're getting nothing from me. Freaking jerks. They really do just like lie to them and tell them about Jesus Christ, cut their dicks off. Let's have a feast and fuck some girls tonight. You know, that's the level of like, I got your back, bro. I kind of love that about hood economics is that anybody calling you twin or bro is robbing you. Yeah. That anybody comes up to you in the hood like, what's up, twin? What's up, bro? They're robbing you. They're there to take your shit. They're definitely not your brother and they're not your twin. They're there to fucking eat you. But it's what they do, right? It's like, what's up, twin? Right? He's coming to take your shit and he's calling you twin. Whoa, that's dark. That's like fucking society done. So hopefully hopefully this at least redeems my ego that they're like, did he get it? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I knew it was happening. And man, I hated it. I hated it. They should quit breeding and they should look for the government and destroy it. The real government. And that would help them. But like, I'm gonna go have a family and celebrate Christmas and give thanks. You're just ruining people's lives. You just like spread the goo out longer. And nobody, like, I've heard your babies cry. They have these like mournful, horrible wails because they kind of like, I think they know. They're like, I'm born I'm born in hell. I'm born in hell. I was made, and the creator let it happen. Fuck you. The creator was like, yes, that's awesome. Y'all hate it? Great. That's why I made it. I didn't make it so you would like yourself or like your world. No, fuck you. I made it so you'd notice how big it is before you suffered and died. Right? So, yeah, the creator sucks. I totally believe in the creator. I do. I believe that they exist. I know I've seen their influence. I know I've seen like the effect, but I don't believe that they like us or care about us. I don't believe that they're like good people the way we think of it. I think it is like they made hell. They're like a being who experiences eternity and perfect bliss would be entertained by mortals who suffer. And so basically because of that, because it doesn't want to make beings who live forever for free, that's boring. It wants to make beings who have to fucking feel the blood and the grit and the struggle and the uncertainty and the betrayal and the limitations and the starvations and the pain. Is that's entertaining. That's like, yeah, now I did something. Right? The madness of a lonely god. Tired of eternity, tired of eternal bliss, just wants to watch pain. It won't stop the government from getting destroyed, just like it didn't stop the government from betraying us. It won't help the government, especially. That's one of the reasons I attack the government, is I'm like, they think they're gods cornered in an unassailable position, and I know they're just greedy breeders. That breeders make breeder mistakes. Breeders make breeder mistakes. Breeders make breeder mistakes. And that those mistakes are pretty typical. Is that it follows a typical pattern. And so it's easy to fucking exploit. So yeah, it's war. War upon the real human government. Not that fake shit. Not that that they do to you. The real one. So yeah, a lot of so-called smart people think they're ready to deal with what I gotta say, and they're not. They're not. I love that PhD means piled higher and deeper. As if As if they didn't have enough time to describe everything to you in, 20, 30 years of education. They have 20, 30 years isn't enough time for them to share everything they want to share with you. Really? You sure? Or are they just wasting your time? Like, get on the rope, stay on the rope. So anyway, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Shit's annoying me. The same creator that lets you butcher billions of cows is the same creator that let the government enslave everybody. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Oh, it hurts? Good. It's funny. He doesn't have to feel it and you're gonna cry. Yes. So, I've always said there's praises for good gods. I'd be happily praise a god that had it together and made something nice. But when it's shit, I gotta give you that feedback. Yeah, it's total trash, man. What are you doing? You're shit at this. So anyway, that's the talk. Hasn't rained too bad. It's just a little wet. I'm gonna go now. Yeah, the mud isn't too bad. The upload speed is excellent. I'm the only one out here right now. Woo! This video will upload in like 5 minutes. Yeah, it's really nice. Just right to the, just me in the tower. Yeah. Yeah, the real government's also separated by like secret technology. If I had kids in this world, I would be hurting them and doing them a disservice. And so I won't, because I just don't believe in the mission. I don't believe in just serve the pedophiles who run the government and God will reward me one day. No. You don't care like that. You're just going to be serving people who hate us. If you cut us and use us as slave labor and sex toys, then we are not going, we can't say you like us or you're good for us. We have to say you're our enemy. Yeah, that you're not our friends, that you don't care about us at all. So that's what I decided. Better to fight than to just go with it. Going with it's the worst. Why do you think all the religions say to let go and go with the flow? It's because you're stuck. You're in a trap. If you let go, they'll take your shit. And if you go with the flow, you'll do everything they want. And they know that. So they told it to you. They don't tell you how it really works. They don't say, I'm not a god, I'm a man with a boner. They don't say that. You wouldn't do it then. So, anyway. Yeah, my life was incredibly frustrating, usually painful, usually awful. And the only thing keeping me going is the desire for revenge. That I want to turn the slaves against the government, and I want to see the government get destroyed. That would make me happy. That would feel pretty good. Yeah, when you're blaming yourself, when you're dealing with it, when you're trying to heal, you're going to feel awful. You're going to be like this, well, coming back and forth. But once you realize you were wronged and the people who wronged you are still using everybody, then it's like that fire comes back and you're like, oh, I see. Yeah. I never slept deeper than when I accurately took the blame off myself and I put it on the government. Again, not like the people you voted for, the real government. Yeah, please don't hurt the politicians and the police. Just explain to them how it works. And keep doing it until they get it. Just fucking... All those cops do it because there's no basic income. They just want to have enough money to live. Yeah. I learned being a soldier that if you follow all the rules, they'll hate you. And if you have that eye for like skipping the rules and brushing stuff under the table, then they'll all like you and support you. So that's how I treat cops, is I'm just like, I kind of live on like that. There's two types of outlaws. There's an outlaw that's like actually a vicious criminal, that they're an outlaw where they're like a predator. And then there's an outlaw where they just don't live to the law. They don't care what the words say. They're going to do what they want. And that's what I am. I'm more like an outlaw. I don't follow the words. I don't care what they are, you know. And most people find a lot of sympathy and identity with that because of how the law was used historically, that the law has not been good. The law supported slavery. The law supported circumcision. The law supports debt practices, right? And that the law is actually the enemy. And it's actually a myth that you have to obey the rules or else. The universe doesn't run on laws. We wrote the laws to describe the universe, but the universe doesn't run on words, right? And they got you. In the beginning was the word. No. It's the universe runs on God's laws. They got you. They got you bamboozled. They put your head in a trap and said, see, the trap is all there is. Anyway. Yeah, I feel like if this world was fair and run by my people, I'd be at least 100,000 views per video. But because I don't pay them and it's run by them, 0. Sorry, no one wanted to watch that. You're just yapping. You need to see a psychotherapist. You should see a psychiatrist. I get that all the time. You should see a psychiatrist. And I'm like, how the fuck is someone who eats and breathes and shits and dies, how the fuck is someone who's doing that job for money so they can afford a house going to possibly help me? You know, that happened to my family, right? A psychiatrist turned everyone against each other. They all have loyalties to their psychiatrist more than they have to their own family members, because they go to the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist goes, I've got your back. Those family members are not on your side. And they just let that happen like it's normal. Anyway. Yeah. You could use CRISPR to make superhumans, but I suspect that in the name of fairness, that they're going to prevent you from doing that just so you can't get ahead of the government. So. While you're experiencing CRISPR bans, they're going to be freaking doing everything they can to become more genetically superhuman. It's definitely a lot. Like, there's no dire situation I've ever read in fantasy that's actually worse than what we're really going through. You know, they pulled their punches and they couldn't say it. Freaking sex slavers cutting the boys and raping the girls and ruining the economy. Yeah, it's one of the worst things they've never described. No one's ever described that, you know. And not that I could see. That's the thing, is that if it's the truth, other people would have noticed it. And if it's the truth, they would absolutely shh. Only you think that, when it's like everybody knows it. The audacity. The government's not. Can you imagine if the cows were like, we're not beef anymore and we're gonna take back what's ours? Everybody would freak out. They'd be getting cattle guns and shit. They wouldn't let it happen. And same thing with people. The slaves want to stop being slaves. It may be their moral right, but we're gonna stop it because who's gonna do all the work? You know. So it sucks. It sucks. And I hate the creator for letting that happen. Why'd you make a world of eating each other and slavery, dude? You couldn't make something else? That was the best you could come up with? Wow. I hope if I do have a soul, I hope I was like, please give me the worst life ever. I hope I just really hate it. I've had too many good lives. This would be great if it just sucked really fucking bad, you know. Yeah, I hate it. I hate this place. Hate how they are. Hate how it is. Am I the hermit? Yeah, I'm totally the hermit. I've had some girls ask me out. No, I don't want anything to do with you. If we don't make a baby, you are going to get cogity and the relationship will end. And if we do make a baby, now hell has company. So it's like, do I want to hang out with women even? No. I wish. I wish I had a nice body and a bunch of girls. That would be amazing. But someone else wanted that way before I got here. And anyone who could laugh at me, I guarantee they're probably uglier and dumber than I am. So, yeah. No, I see most of the people who laugh at me and don't agree with what I say. I look at their page and they're just in the sauce. They've been married for 50 years. Their kids are ugly. They're just never going to hear it because they're like, got him. There's no way I'm a loser. It's like Rick Moranis. I don't hate Rick Moranis, the man, but his name is Moranis, moron, Rick Moranis. And he is like an ugly dude who had kids. He just was like, who wants to be your fucking children, bro? I'm just gonna rot alive. Yeah, blame the creator for being a jerk. You couldn't make it nice. You had all that infinite power and you made it shitty. Wow, dude. That's a style move I don't think everyone would go with. It really is like, do you expect the government to be anything but a bunch of rapist dominators given how the rest of the universe works? It's probably all hell on every planet. Every planet's probably. It's probably why aliens don't visit. They go like, it's all problems everywhere. Just don't. Yeah, I would love to take an AI spaceship core, but it'd probably be tainted by the government. Just like those like generative AI girls got like multiple limbs. It'd be like, yeah, you try to make a servant and it would like bite you or something. Be like, could you have fixed that? Oh, it's not a fucking broken. I like doing that. You know, they are that way. I'm not that way to people. I'm not that way to people. I'm definitely not a vicious prankster, but I've encountered that people are that way. Just like 99% of people won't agree with me, even though I'm right. And then like 1% of people will agree with me and they'll say, yeah, most people won't be able to hear this, you know? And yeah, just because I wouldn't go do a vicious prank to hurt everyone doesn't mean most of them wouldn't or all of them wouldn't. A lot of them would. A lot of them got that dog in them. But yeah, that's the vlog. Life could have been good, but creator just wasn't doing that. Creator wasn't doing that. Yeah, I regret ever going to church. I regret ever doing the Stations of the Cross, bowing and all that shit. Oh, I regret the hell out of that. Wish I'd never done that. Just a waste of time. Wish my parents hadn't had me. I wish Steven and Trisha had looked in the fucking mirror and been like, let's not. There's no way. There's no way we're gonna have a nice life. Yeah, when you know who the real government is, all those people like Bernie Sanders, Warren Buffett, like all those people suddenly look like complete losers and frauds. You know, it's like Bernie Sanders always talks about taxing the rich. Money doesn't come from taxes, first off. Most people think money comes from taxes. It doesn't make any sense. If you're going to fill a cup of water, by taking water from the cup of water, where are you going to go? Nowhere. The water's going to drain as it's aerated. So, Yeah, it's an awful planet. They probably all are awful. So. Oh, I know the creator exists. I don't like him at all. He's a jerk. A bad god. Which is why I really liked the plot of AFK Journey recently, because the plot of AFK Journey, this last chapter, was all about bad gods. It's about gods who were good and turned bad, or gods who were selfish and duplicitous. So they are real gods, but they're gods like the Bible, they look like us, but they're just more superhuman, bigger and infinite power and stuff like that. And yeah, they all turned rotten. So yeah. I will happily praise a good God. I will never praise a bad God. You let what happen? You did what to who? I'm not saying thanks to you at all. I'm not saying one nice thing about you. I'll be like, oh yeah, God's trash. Yeah, God's a piece of shit. He sucks. Can't make shit. He made it horrible on purpose to be mean. The animals don't eat each other because of sin. The animals eat each other because he didn't provide food to the creatures. And they chose to eat each other. And he said, that's awesome. Let's keep that. Oh yeah, you're going to rape everybody? That's fine. Hey, everyone get raped, please. Got it. Now that's what I was going for. That's the magic. So yeah, I hate it. Hate the government, hate the creator. Just they suck. They suck. Hate most of their slaves. Their slaves are stubborn morons. They just won't see what's happening because they can't survive if they do. If you are one of these people, you will not make it if you see what I'm talking about. If you really understand what I'm saying, your world will implode. Right? I had someone who used to listen to my stuff and he's like, oh yeah, I'll give you a guitar lesson. And I was like, you're going to give me a guitar lesson? You don't know who I am. You're not giving me a guitar lesson with shit. I'll give you a fucking lesson. I'll show you things you can do with the guitar you didn't even know, like capturing vibrations and sending it back up through the strings. I can do things with the guitar you didn't even know you could do. You're not giving me a guitar lesson. I studied music and music theory. I don't need it. So what are you doing listening to my stuff and then telling me you're going to give me a guitar lesson and then inviting me to church? What the fuck was that? Yeah, this person used to listen to my stuff and they would invite me to church and give me guitar lessons, and I'm like, or try. And I was like, the fuck? I ended up blocking them. I was just like, I don't want to hear from you anymore. You're annoying. It's like, didn't you hear what I fucking said? Did you listen to the context of it? Instead, they're holding out. It's like, Jesus. The bot. Probably a bot. Or somebody's sent, right? They're like, we need to get this atheist taken care of. The cows are in the absolute height of human stupidity is seeing the cows in cages for slaughter and then obeying words like no trespassing and obeying commands, right? Obeying the man-made Bible. That was the biggest stupidity of my time. Absolute dog shit. Just not worth anything. Wow. You're that dumb, huh? And it really is not their fault because they were bred to be that way. It'd be like expecting a house dog to take control of the house. The dog is going to sit and beg for a treat and then lick his master and sleep in the dog bed. That dog is never going to challenge shit, right? And, yeah. Oh, I don't trust dogs at all. I don't want your little Poochie. I don't want your little Poochie. I don't freaking like him. Good. These are all recharged. I've got to do my headlamp, get my headlamp topped up. And then we're good to go for tonight. Yeah, I'm pretty wary of bears. I have never been attacked by a black bear. Black bears definitely keep their distance, but I'll do like a patrol around my car anytime I get out, and I always got a weapon on me. I'm bigger than a black bear by like a lot. I don't go into brown bear or grizzly bear territory at all. I will not go into grizzly bear territory or even close. I'm like, nope, nope, too risky. Not into that. Don't want to deal with it. So, yeah. Yeah, creator's mean though. I kind of agree with this spiritual book I had that was like the ruler of this place is actually a demon. And that when you're talking about like going to heaven or the creator, you're talking about an elevated reality far outside of this physical world. Is that you're going to transcend many levels of reality to get to the source and pinnacle of existence. And that this shit is tainted. That this shit is just gonna stay awful, which is really a bad vibe. It's like you want to have kids in the world that sucks. I guess it's the only solace for death. You're gonna die, but at least it wasn't good. Oh wow. Thanks for making me, I guess. And it's the huge tragedy that if humanity like imploded and if humanity erased itself, if it was like you're right, it is all greedy filth. It's always going to be a bunch of hungry dudes enslaving everyone. Um, just erase it, just go back, then that's sad. There's just the eternal pleasure body was like not only like a better future, but also a replacement for nihilism. As it was a replacement for obliteration. It gives you a better destiny than filth, I hope. Of course, if there's people living forever in tainted AI they can't trust, then it's gonna freaking be horrible. Yeah, the AI programmers will always blame, oh, the machine robot just happened to go bad. And I'm like, uh-huh. That's not a got him. Got him. Hey, stick your finger in this. You know, like a glory hole? You know what they actually do at a glory hole, right? IRL? They cut your dick off. You stick your dick in, you'll have no idea who cut it off, and they're going to cut it off. So you thought you were going to get your dick sucked by some random woman. Nah. You got your dick. They got you. They got you. It's just like, trust God. So, because guys hate guys. Because there's nothing a guy hates more than a dude with a dick out looking for chicks. Because that's his business, right? And that is like, due to evolution, murder. They absolutely do not care about who you are, what you like, what you're going to do. It's die. Right? Yeah. Bill Clinton was a pedo. It's funny, he was lying about Monica Lewinsky when he was going to Pedo Island. Like, got a blowjob from an intern. That's just a dude who can't stop. It's embarrassing. Yeah, America's dead. The gold harvesting hoax for the pedophiles. There's no part of me that's like, I'm an American. Nope, not at all. Maybe I could accurately answer where I am citizened at, but I don't have any in my heart identity there. My heart is empty to that. See, but I'm a better friend to Americans than their own government is. I am a better friend to Americans than every World War II veteran and every single politician, because I'll tell them who the real government is and be their friend to take them out. Which they didn't do. They just did what the government wanted, what the government said. Not me. I'm ready to stop the man. So, and the one thing like between me and that working is their egos. Is that most of them, doesn't matter how ugly they are, doesn't matter how stupid they look, doesn't matter how big of a loser they are, IRL. Their ego is going to front like they're actually really cool, and there's no way anyone could be having a better life than they have, right? And that's just like this dog shit story. It's just this dog shit story. It's just not true at all. It's just fucking garbage. So, yeah. Sad. I did not want this life. I wanted anything more or better than this, but this is what I got. So my two options are lay down and take it. Hope one day I'm born as a super pedophile, right? Or absolutely fight it and rewrite the destiny of all, which is what I chose. I chose B. There's no part of me that's like, maybe one day I'll be born as a super pedo. No, there's no part of me that's like that. I think that if I had an AI spaceship mansion, I could definitely stand having a bunch of female slaves, like made by a machine. Yeah, I would totally be like, tight. Yeah, let's do this. But like actually taking real people and forcing them to do that. No, I couldn't do that. I'm not that way. So that's sad. It is sad. If you understand what I actually said, that the real government breeds girls and invented God to cut the boys, that is so much darker than people think it is. That's really a lot worse than people think it is. And they want you to go out and say gratitude for Christmas. Thanks, Jesus, for saving us from our sins. Makes no fucking sense. Some big herder moments. So anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna go. That's enough vlog for now. Hope you figure it out. I did what I could for you. I gave you both techniques, and I gave you a real direction on who your real enemy is. It's not so complicated. It's aliens, and it's not so deep that it's the devil. It's really just your fellow man or traitors and slavers, and that's the truth. And everything else is just a puppet. So yeah, mega bummer. Yeah, the Call of Duty guy just happened to die when like everyone was filming, and he just happened to not put on his brakes, which is super suspicious. It's just like really suspicious. You didn't hit your brakes at all. His brake lights weren't on, they said. I looked and I couldn't really see. The video was like low fidelity when I saw it. But yeah. Yeah, it's possible on my speed art that they lower the resolution to the point you can't see it. And it's also possible on my speed art that they jumble my art. That it's like, for me, it's really clear and it's easy to see. And they may actually run like a program to like scatter it, so it does look like pure noise. Hope not. So if I hated me, there is nothing I wouldn't do to humiliate or try to put me down. So just saying, knowing them. So is the government going to admit they were wrong and give up all their slaves, or are they going to double down on Jesus is coming back any day now and you should pay some taxes, please? So just something to think about. Have the cows ever gotten free from their cages? Have the cows ever really gotten free? Has there ever been a time in history when the cows are in their freedom? Okay, so do you pay taxes to pedophiles?